Hello and welcome to Genesis Training. This is your trainer Kaustav. This is the second video in the time, speed and distance series, and in this video we'll be dealing with the subtopic of average speed. So let's get started. When it comes to average speed, first of all, when it comes to speed in general, speed is nothing but distance divided by time. So when it comes to average speed, the general formula for average speed is total distance divided by total time. Now this is not the only formula when it comes to average speed. There's also a special formula for average speed which says 2 speed 1 speed 2 divided by speed 1 plus speed 2. But there's a special condition to be using this formula. That special condition is when the distance covered in both the cases is same. For example, a person travels from this point to this point with S1 speed and from this point back to this point at S2 speed. In that case, the average speed can be calculated with this formula, but only in this case where the distance traveled by both of them is same. There is another special formula which is speed 1 plus speed 2 divided by 2. This formula can be used if and only if the time taken in both the cases is same. For example, this is point A, this is point B, and this is point C. So, if at all you travel from A to B with S1 speed and B to C with S2 speed, but in both the cases you take the same amount of time. The distances are different but the time taken is same. In that case, S1 plus S2 by 2 can be used. But this formula can be used only if this condition is satisfied. That's all. So now that we know the concept, let's start with a few questions. The Hogwarts Express traveled 650 kilometers in 5 hours and another 940 kilometers in 10 hours. What is the average speed of the train? Now we know that average speed is nothing but total distance divided by total time. Total distance is 650 plus 940 kilometers divided by total time is 5 plus 10. That is equal to, when you solve this entire thing, you will get 106 kilometer per hour. That is C. Now I'll tell you why 112 is given in the options, because a lot of people, what they do is they find the individual speed, that is 650 divided by 5 and 940 divided by 10, and then they think that average speed is like any other average, that is speed 1 plus speed 2 divided by 2. They use this formula and then they end up getting A as the answer, which is obviously wrong. Remember, this formula can be used if and only if the time taken for both the journeys is the same. But here it clearly is not the same. In first leg it is 5 hours, in the second leg it is 10 hours. That is why this formula cannot be used. Hence A is the wrong answer, C is the correct answer. Alright, let this be a lesson. Let's continue. Question number 2. The Alpha Express left Pune for Mumbai at 30 km per hour and comes back to Pune at 40 km per hour. You see what happened over there? Pune to Mumbai and then back to Pune. So the distance traveled is same. When the distance traveled is same, the average speed can be written as 2 S1 S2 divided by S1 plus S2. Let's do this. S1 is 30, S2 is 40 divided by 30 plus 40. This is nothing but 2 into 30 into 40 divided by 70. Now you don't really need to calculate this because the options are there to help you out. When you look at this, you cancel out the zeros, you are 100% sure that the answer will not be a natural number because nothing over here gets cancelled by 7. So obviously the answer will be a decimal answer. If you look at the options, there is just one option which has decimal. That is B. That is obviously the correct answer. Are we 100% sure that this is the correct answer? No. but we are 100% sure that the other options are wrong. So by elimination method, we get the correct answer. This is how you should use the options to your favor. Let's move on. A car travels from A to B at V1 km per hour, travels back from B to A at V2, and again goes back from A to B at V2. Average speed of the car is what? This is a very interesting question. So we have case 1, case 2, and case 3. So in case 1, and in all the cases, the distances are same. This is the distance row. All of them distances same. A to B, B to A to B. Now when it comes to the speeds, A to B, in the first leg of the journey, the speed is V1. In the second leg of the journey, the speed is V2. In the third leg of the journey, the speed is V2. Now when it comes to the time, what is the time? Distance by speed is d by V1. Distance by speed, d by V2. Distance by speed, d by V2. This is what we have. Now what is the average speed of the car? Average speed is nothing but total distance by total time. So we need to find average speed. What is the total distance? D plus D plus D, that is 3D, divided by total time is d by V1 plus d by V2 plus d by V2. This is equal to 3d divided by d by V1 plus 2d by V2. D gone. This is equal to 3 over here. 1 by V1 plus 2 by V2, the LCM of that is V1, V2, and over here it becomes V2 plus 2V1. Now this comes over here, 3V1 V2 divided by 2V1 plus V2. And that is obviously C. C is the answer. 3V1 V2 divided by 2V1 plus V2. A lot of people end up marking D as the answer because they know it is 3V1 V2, but then just because V2 has been mentioned twice, they think it will be 2V2 over here, but in reality it's just 2V1 and only 1V2. Moral of the story, don't just assume the answer, make sure you actually use pen and paper and solve the question. Let's move on. Mohan travelled at 50 km per hour for 2 hours, then 60 km per hour for 3 hours, finally at 75 5 hours. What is his average speed? Alright, let's find the distances. We have case 1, case 2, case 3. The speeds are 50, 60 and 75. These are the speeds. The times are 2 hours, 3 hours and 5 hours. So the distances are, so distance equals speed into time. 50 into 2, 100. 60 into 3, 180. 75 into 5. 75 into 2 is 150. 150 into 2 is 300. So 375. Now we have average speed. Average speed is total distance by total time. Total distance is 100 plus 180 plus 375 divided by 2 plus 3 plus 5. This is equal to how much? Now 100 plus 180 is 280. 280 plus 375. Let's break it down. 280 plus 300 is 480. 580. 580 plus 70 is 650. 650 plus 5 is 655. Divided by 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 plus 5 is 10. So the final answer is 65.5 km per hour. That's it. Let's move on. Madan travelled 100 kilometers at 40 km per hour, another 150 kilometers at 50 km per hour, and travelled at 30 km per hour for 2 hours. What is his average speed? Okay, again, case 1, case 2, case 3. We have speeds. We have 40 in case 1, then 50 in case 2, and then 30 in case 3. Now when it comes to the distances, we have 100 kilometers, then we have 150 kilometers, and we don't know the distance in this case. When it comes to the times, time is nothing but distance by speed, so 100 by 40 is nothing but 10 by 4. 100 by 40, when we cancel this out, 0 0 gone, 10 by 4, half of 10 is 5, half of 5 is 2.5. okay, then we have time over here. 150 by 50 is nothing but 3, and the time over here is given, that is 2 hours. They have given 2 hours in the third case. So distance is 3 into 2, that is 60 kilometers. Now again we have average speed. Average speed is nothing but total distance by total time. Total distance is 100 plus 150 plus 60 divided by 2.5 plus 3 plus 2. This is equal to 100 plus 150 is 250, 250 plus 60 is 310 divided by 2 plus 3 is 5, 5 plus 2.5 is 7.5. This is equal to 310 into 10 divided by 75, because 7.5 is 75 by 10. Let's cancel things out. We have 5 into 15 is 75. 5 into 62 is 310. 5 3s are 15, 5 2s are 10. And that's it. So we have 124 divided by 3. If you convert it into decimal form, 3 4s are 12, 3 1s are 3.333. That is the average speed. Let's move on to the next question. A man wants to travel 1500 kilometers at an average speed of 40 km per hour. He covers 500 kilometers at 50 km per hour. At what speed must he travel for the rest of the distance? Okay, so 1500 kilometers at an average of 40 km per hour. Now average speed is nothing but total distance by total time. Total distance is 1500 kilometers divided by total time. Let's see how much time he traveled for in the first leg of the journey, that is 50 kilometers in 50 hours. So first of all, let us find what is the total time he intends to travel. That is, average speed is nothing but 40 km per hour. So time taken is nothing but 1500 divided by 40. This one gone. 150 by 4. 150 by 2 is 75. That by 2 is 37.5 hours. So in the first leg of the journey, the man travels 500 kilometers divided by 50 km per hour. This is T1. This is nothing but 10 hours. So the remaining hours is 27.5. And the remaining distance is 1000, because 500 kilometers have already been traveled. So out of 1500, 500 kilometers gone, the remaining journey is 1000 kilometers. So the speed of the remaining should be equal to, speed equals distance by time. How much is the remaining distance? 1000 kilometers. And how much is the time that is remaining? That is 27.5. which is equal to 36.36 km per hour. That's it. Ultimately, you need to remember that average speed is total distance by total time. That is the only thing you need to stick to, because that is the general formula. Any other formula is just a derivation of that, but total distance by total time, that stays constant throughout the concept. So that was it for this video. We'll do more types of questions in the future videos. Thank you so much.